We are back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Business. All of the business. Shout out to Wi-Fi, y'all.
I do it for the most high. I do it for the most high. I do it for the most.
Well, not only you have to type out how you go to YouTube. All about it. By getting your contacts and reaching out to us actually on all of our amazing platforms.
Yes.
You can reach us at Instagram at Noni Kai or at Ahava Kai. You can always go to our YouTube channel.
Chat us up. Can we get something, a message or something? Let us know that you're out there.
Talk to us, people. All you have to do is go to youtube.com /at Ahava Kai to reach us, watch us there, ponder, replay.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do that, you can also go to Twitter. Check us out at Twitter on Ahava Edu. My goodness.
There you go.
Got to get it out, or you can email us. You guys, we love to hear from you.
We love your emails.
Yeah, send us on. And then if you want to book something with us, you can always contact us with an email. It's ahavakconsulting@gmail.com. It's so simple.
And you guys, we've been having people reach out to us and send us samples of their products and stuff like that. Hit us up in the email and we'll send you the address.
That's right.
We appreciate all the samples, everything that we've been getting. We are enjoying it. We love it. And we can't wait to share it on the show.
That's right. And that's the easiest way to get yourself and or your products known internationally, super fast. Millions of people viewing it over and over. I mean, it's free advertising, and that you can't beat that.
Talking about that, we're going to be talking about how to brand yourself, how to invest in yourself today.
That's right.
So I'm really, really excited about that. But before we get into that, let's get a shout out to our sponsors.
Our lovely sponsors.
Yeah, we have Ahava Kai Consulting, which is us together. We got Kai Management. We have Earth Baby, Ahava Financial Education, 13 Crystalline, and Ahava Living. And so shout out to our brands. That's just, we're loving it over there. And then if you need to book a consultation, go to shopblackenterprise.com, click on the business planning tab. And if you need any type of financial needs, business credit, personal loans, business loans, anything of that nature, click on Ahava Financial Education. And if you need branding, you can go to Ahava or go to Kai Management. You can let them know what you do.
Yes, if you are interested in a website, if you don't have one, or if you do have one already and you just need it to be revamped, it's stale, you need a fresh new face for a fresh new audience.
Want it to look bomb, y'all. It's so good. Her websites are so good.
Thank you, girl. You can come over to see me. Even if you just need a logo, if you need some labels printed, if you need banners, if you need some strategies for your marketing or your sales, sales funnel, come on, see me.
All the good stuff, all the creative stuff.
But the best part about it is if you guys go to Shop Black Enterprise and become a merchant, you get a host of things. We actually did a show about all of the benefits that you can get from becoming a merchant. I want to say it's a month ago.
Not too long
ago. Check on the replay. Go to youtube.com. Really look at that and see all the benefits you get for $9.95 a month.
Super cheap.
And then if you do that, you get us at a package deal.
Yes, sure do.
I mean, does it get any better than that?
It really doesn't get any better than that.
It don't. Because we're the best.
So I'm really excited, you guys. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into our show. We're going to talk about how to invest in your business because that seems like that's a big problem for a lot of people. They don't know how to get started. Where do you put your money? At what time? You're still working a job. You're still probably struggling on your 9-to-5, but you want to open up a business. You want to start your business. And what do you do with your investment?
Right. How do you prioritize that?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
And so we have Mel coming on the show. So what's up, Mel? Go ahead and come in. Mel is the owner of Source Radio. And he's just the brains behind everything.
Yes.
The expert of the day.
The man
Today I'm rather brainless, not brainy.
Well, welcome
How are
to
you?
the show, Mel.
Yeah.
We're doing
How are you
great.
doing? Good.
Excellent.
Good. So tonight we're going to talk about where to put your money in the business, a small business that will make the most sense, right?
A lot of people
Okay.
have that problem, it seems like. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to start.
Or when they do,
Well-
start, they just kind of dump it in the wrong direction.
Right.
And then they're like, what do I do
Well,
now?
you know, you have to be strategic. And this is why the first thing you need to do is start with a business plan.
Mhm.
You know, because you have to know what resources you have. And because resources for most small businesses are limited and sometimes extremely limited, you have to know where to put the money to get the most bang for your buck, so that your business will be sustainable and grow too at the same time. And, you know, for a lot of people start a business, and this is the problem. And I'll just use a couple of examples. Let's suppose you want to start a restaurant. And why would you start a restaurant? Well, typically, either you're a really good cook and you have great food.
Yeah.
Well, the other alternative is that you know someone who's a great cook and you want to back them and you want to start a restaurant with them. But the primary thing is the food. That doesn't mean you know anything about running a business.
That's
And
very true.
it's not just it's not just restaurants. I mean, it could be clothing. You know, you might have a good eye for clothing, but you know, how much do you purchase? Where do you show it? You know, how do you promote it? You know, what's your cost and what's your expense? You know, and then, you know, do I get 10 more T-shirts, or do I get an ad on Google?
Right.
You know, because resources are limited, and this is the big issue. It has to be strategic. So I want to start off just by pulling this up. Okay, and this just gives you an idea of a couple of things. In previous shows, we talked about location, you know, where to put your business. We talked about a business plan. You know, but I want to focus a little bit more on simple things that you can do. For example, the very first one, create and verify your Google business profile.
Yeah.
Go on to Google, put up your business, fill out the form. Now, this is what's important. Fill out every question on the form. Okay? It's really important. And we're going to talk about search engine maximization tags in a few minutes. I'll talk about those. But why do you want to list your business on Google? Because everybody goes on Google.
Everybody.
Very
Right.
simple.
So,
Very simple.
yeah, so that's the first thing. Let people find you and let you become established. The next thing, get a website. You know, social media platforms are excellent for driving people or driving sponsors, or, you know, driving venues. From one of the people who display your food and sell your food, you have to find out. You have to be on. You have to have your website up, so when you apply, people know who you are. You know, otherwise, you know, if you just have a Facebook page, they're going to think that, you know, you're not reliable enough.
Yeah.
And so, you know, a website serves multiple purposes. It says, I've arrived. I'm a real business.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not. Excuse me?
I said in the buyer, it secures their funds.
Right.
You know, they don't want to just be buying something, going cash shopping you on social media.
Exactly.
They want a secure place to be able to buy their service and products.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the purpose of a website, unlike social media, it has SLS protection. So if you go ahead and you use your credit card, it's protected, by security. But you go on social media, you could be hacked in a second. So I'm not suggesting that small businesses get rid of social media. I'm suggesting they begin to figure out that social media is a feeder, and you want to feed your product, and your online product is your website. Within your website, you have other products and services you might offer, but your product is really your website.
Exactly.
Because that's what people are buying into. They're buying into your credibility. So that's the next step. Okay. Search engine optimization. This is so important. Sometimes you hear of it, SEO. What that means is I have the proper tags. Tags, for a restaurant, you could have food, you could have ambiance, you can have cuisine, you can have French. But the more tags you have, the more identifiers, the more chance you have of showing up in a search on one of the first few pages in a Google search.
It's
And the
so
reason why I say it's important, people don't often go beyond page 1 or 2. It's rare.
Yes.
It's rare. So where do you invest your money? If you can't do it, find somebody who can build a website for you. Find somebody who knows how to do search engine optimization.
Yes.
Establish your brand by being a viable business with a profile on Google. These 3 things don't cost a whole lot of money, but suddenly you're a recognizable brand, you're a recognizable business.
And before you do all those things too, make sure that the company, whatever you want to call yourself, find out if it's being used already. I've run into a lot of people where they actually can't use the name because it's already being taken.
And they never took the time to even look to search it. They just went with it.
Yeah.
I want to be called this and just went
and
with it.
And they just go with it. And so they go find someone to do the website and do all these things, and they can't because you got to change your name now.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I think we covered that when I was on the previous Mel's Corner. We talked about, and it's not enough just to have your name in the state registry. You have to do it in the trademark and copyright, U.S. government trademark and copyright agency, because there, no one in any state or even a foreign nation can take your name and your brand. And this is the U.S. Patent Office and Trademark Office that will protect your brand and protect your name, so you don't have to worry about somebody else stealing it. So yes, that's an important first step. We're talking right now about where do you allocate your money, and so far, creating your business profile is free. That doesn't cost anything. Yeah. A website's going to cost you money. It could cost $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. It depends how many pages you have and how complex it is, how many products you want to show to sell. Yeah. There's a variety of issues in terms of what's the optimal way to build a website without overkill. But also, you want it to be creative and cutting edge. You don't want it to look like it's dated, so people are disinterested. Right. And it has to be clean. It has to be clean. So if you're selling a product or service, what?
I said basically they just need to hire Noni.
Yeah, that would be my next suggestion. I was going to get to that one. I've seen a lot of website design, and I have. I've been working with a website designer. But I'm switching mine to Noni because she has an artistic eye that I've not seen. And it's important when people come to your site, it's inviting, it's easy to follow, it draws them in. That's what you want to do. You want it to draw them in. Yeah. So websites are critical. Search engine optimization is critical. So here you have some money you're going to invest. And this is the order of priority I think you should invest in. Get a website. Get someone who can do SEO for you. If you don't know how to do it yourself, you create tags, and to be able to make sure that it appears on the first page. Now, name selection is important also for where it appears. Yeah. If the name is similar to other names, even though it's unique but similar, you might be pushed way down the list.
Right. Yeah.
So you need somebody who knows what they're doing when you build a name, a brand, a website. And the next step is search engine optimization. The next one after that, create a business blog. It's important that you put up content that's educational about your business and about your products and services. You have to educate people about what you do. It's not enough to say, here I am. Everyone will shrug their shoulders and say, oh, another attorney. But, what do you specialize in? What information do you give people that would make them want to, choose you over somebody else? It's a competitive market, and the better you are at blogging and creating content, the more likely you are to distinguish yourself from other people. So the content has to be crisp, interesting, useful. And what's the cost of creating a business blog? Nothing. Now, if you can't do it, you hire somebody who can write text for you.
Yes.
You know, I mean, there's always that you can always have a consultant work for you. The person that develops your website might be able to do the blogging for you too, the business blogging, and they might be able to do the SEO. But these are the steps you need to take in order to make your brand recognizable and to distinguish you from other brands out there. How many restaurants are there? How many attorneys are there? How many dentists are there?
Yeah.
You know, so why would they come to you? And these are the steps to identify yourself and to establish your credibility and to establish your professionalism. You know, share your content. There's so many ways to do this. Okay. First of all, you can go online and start looking at other people, you know, who are in a similar industry, who may not, like, for example, let's take the music industry. All right. But let's use my case here. I have a radio station.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to follow the station.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I want to do is get musicians interested.
Mm-hmm.
And because if I can find some musicians who I can play their music, you know, they'll put their fan base up on my station.
Right.
They'll announce that they're going to be on the station, or music's going to be played, and then where they can come find it. So
Yeah.
sharing content, you know, finding people of interest that will help promote your brand. And you do that by reaching out and sharing content.
Right.
Run Google and Facebook ads. Facebook ads are so cheap. Now, of course, they're scalable. You can identify your population, 35 to 60, or 35 to 50, or 20 to 30. You identify the population. Do you want it to be geographic? Do you want to send it in a state or a region like the East Coast? Do you want, you know, the more expansive it is, the more the cost.
Right.
But let's suppose, again, I'll use the example of a restaurant. You can run Google ads, but you're not going to run a Google ad for a restaurant in New York if you live in California. Somebody in California is not going to come to your restaurant.
Exactly.
So you limit it geographically, but you put in, you know, enough demographics. You know, like, for example, you might want to go use a couple of zip codes around your area to define the customer base. Google ads are not expensive, but they should be succinct, creative, and again, why would I want to come to you? The purpose of the ad isn't just to announce you're here; it's to tell me why I want to come to you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so, and Google ads are the same thing, not just Facebook.
That's true. That's true.
They're not expensive. These are first steps, and you know, this is where you're trying to build your brand. You're trying to get recognized. You're trying to let people know who you are. Now, nothing I have in here is geared to a direct sale. On your website, you can have your products shown, and people can buy them directly from you. But they have to find your website.
Mm-hmm.
What's the alternative to that? Let me go on to another slide, and then we can talk about a few other things.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need an e-commerce platform? Okay, what's an e-commerce platform? There's all different forms of e-commerce platforms. An e-commerce platform could be simply a listing service, you know, where they list restaurants, or they list, you know, radio stations, or they list barbershops. It could be a listing service.
Yeah.
It could be something like the Yellow Pages. Okay, I mean, your listing services, we can just have your name online. People looking in a geographic area, they can find your name and find you. It doesn't say much about you. All it does is let people know you're there. So e-commerce platforms are varied. The first thing is you can have listing services. The next thing is you can start to look at sales networks that are out there. Now, we know some of the more popular ones like Amazon and Shopify.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if you're a small business, is cost. Does it make sense for you to spend the money on Amazon or Shopify
Mm-hmm.
when you're going to be competing with 10,000 other merchants,
Exactly.
Right.
many of whom are brand identifiable?
Yep.
You know, and is it worth it you also have to produce widgets, and unless you want to distribute them yourself, and because Amazon's really built around a warehouse concept that you give them the products and they ship. Now you have shipping costs, you have website development costs.
Right. You have on your own. You can do that by just having your own website.
You can have your own website, or you can find other shopping platforms that are less costly. And I'm going to be talking about a sister company to Source Radio Network, which is Shop Black Enterprise.
Yep.
And I'll show you a comparison slide. But you need to be on e-commerce. You can't just say, I don't want to spend the money, I'm not interested. Because what's the advantage of an e-commerce platform? They already have customers.
Right.
They're already there.
Right.
Okay. And depending on how the e-commerce platform is targeted, you could be targeting the kind of audience you're looking for. Like, for example, we'll get to Shop Black Enterprise. That is, first of all, low cost. It's a merchant cooperative association. It's not like Amazon or Shopify. The merchants actually own part of the revenue.
Exactly.
In the shopping network. No other shopping network does that. The other thing is, it only supports Black and minority small businesses.
Right.
So it's very targeted and very specific. And when you start to look at cost and you start to look at the focus, Amazon is global. That's absolute. But again, do you put your restaurant on Amazon? I don't think so. It's it's not the kind of listing service you're looking for.
Right.
So you have to think creatively. And here's the hardest part. It's so easy when you're a small business. I keep going back to the restaurant. It's so easy if you own a restaurant and you're the cook, and you think that your food is enough to draw people. And it could be. But if you notice, restaurants don't last forever. They come and go. And, they may start out, they may be drawing people, and a new restaurant opens up, and suddenly you're losing customers.
Right.
And you're saying, well, I don't want to be on a shopping network because I don't want to spend the money. If you're on a shopping network, you're looking at a much bigger universe than the people who are going to come from a local community. You can draw on people, like I said, in adjacent zip codes where people drive 10 miles to your restaurant, of course. 10 miles is really nothing, but, how will they find you? And, it's not just being a restaurant. It's being, if you sell clothing, it's the same thing, and there are three kinds of businesses. It's brick and mortar retail. There's a home-based business. And then they could have, very possibly through a website, they could have an internet presence. And then there's an e-commerce platform. You need to have all three. You need a website, for sure. There's no question about it. And you need to also be on an e-commerce platform. And you need to be on listing services. You can't decide, I've done enough. How much is enough? It's never enough because you're going to have customer turnover.
Right.
So, e-commerce is important. First of all, it's very low operating cost. Once you put your business online, all you do is get customers. You don't have to do very much. On Shop Black Enterprise, you get your own listing page, which is like a mini website. It's a one-pager. There are customers already who come to the website who look for food in the area, new restaurants to choose from.
And these are people that are already merchants, as well as people who, I think people may not know that you can sign up as a merchant, but you can also sign up just as a customer,
as a shopper.
Yes.
So two types of people that are already cultivated in that group. So you're already able to spread the word about your business within, 2,000 plus people.
Yeah. And it's a community that's already built for you.
Exactly.
It's already built. It's already growing.
And if they love it, they're spreading the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, this is what you're doing too. You're improving the customer experience. Let's suppose you have each week you have different specials.
Yeah.
Different. So you list them on the e-commerce page. People already know to go there. If they even if they frequent your establishment for clothing, if you're having a special, what's the easiest way to find out? They go to the e-commerce site or your website to find out. But your website again is going to be limited because it doesn't necessarily have all the traffic that an e-commerce site has. So you're improving the customer service because you're letting your customers know when you have a sale going on, or you have a new menu or a new menu item, or a new service you're providing.
Yeah.
This is where they'll find you, and you're telling your customers, "I'm reaching out to you. Here's information." But how would they know if you have, a product of the week that you're featuring? They have to go to the store, So, where can they go? They can go to your website and then go to your e-commerce site. They're probably not going to find all your stuff on Facebook or all your stuff on Instagram.
Right. You have a slide that shows the comparison, I believe, to what Shop Like Enterprise offers opposed to other, types of online listers and e-commerce, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, but I just want to make one more point.
Mm-hmm.
Expand your reach. This is what we're talking about today. Where should you put your dollars into expanding your reach? Because again, customers are not always up to speed on what you're doing, what you're changing, what you're adding, and this is a way of expanding your reach to new customers who don't even know about you. And so this is a good way to do it. The other way to do it is radio and radio advertising. And through Shop Like Enterprise, you have access as a merchant to Source Radio Network. So let me show you, a comparison, and then we can kind of wrap this up. Here is a brief comparison of Shop Like Enterprise with Amazon, Shopify, and Etsy. And if you look at the percent taken from sales, on Shop Like Enterprise, 100% of your sale belongs to you. Your monthly fee is only $9.95, and that also gives you access on a rotational basis to Source Radio Network. Okay, listing fees per item. You can list all the items you want in up to 5 different categories, and it's free.
Wow!
And you won't find that in other platforms. Capital loans at 0%. Shop Like Enterprise will get if you're a member for 1 year, you can get up to a $3,000 loan from Shop Like Enterprise at 0 interest. We have a panel of other merchants who will review your application, and based on need, they'll allocate the money. If you receive an award of $3,000, you'll get it within 24 hours, and on top of that, it's 0 interest.
That's amazing.
So this is there's no other website or no other, I should say, e-commerce platform that offers anything like this. Mm-hmm. Shared revenue with merchants. 15% of all the monthly fees that you pay, $9.95, goes into I'm sorry.
You can eat.
I just lost my earphone for a second. 15% of the $9.95 goes into the merchant trust fund, and that's what makes the $3,000 loans available.
Wow.
Okay. So, percent of U.S. small businesses, 100% are minority and Black businesses. 100%.
That's
and when you look at something like Amazon, it's so ridiculous. They're at 1/3%. That's the total number of Black businesses on Amazon, and Shop Like Enterprise 100%. And free radio advertising, you get 10 minutes rotationally. You can have it more than one time on Source Radio Network on the Shop Like Enterprise showcase. So, where should you invest your money? You have to invest in promoting your business, building your brand, and finding new customers. That's the key.
Right.
So you have to expand your reach, and that's what this is about.
That's awesome. That's some great information.
Well said.
I hope you guys was able to learn exactly where to put your money in. I think I learned a lot too, but that was very well put together, Mel. That was very informative. I really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your knowledge.
Always.
Well, thank you. I just, I'm just such a big advocate for small businesses, and both of you have a small business, and when I put up information like this, you understand it because you're doing it.
Right.
And a lot of our listeners who have home businesses and are afraid to take the next step, you got to get out of your house.
That's right. That's right.
Do.
Take the plunge.
Take the plunge. Well, we do
Exactly.
have some
Well, look, thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see you next month at the top of the month.
Oh, yes. Mel's Corner.
I'm looking forward to it. Have a great day.
You too.
So we do, real quick before we wrap it up, you guys, we're going to show you some pro tips just to recap everything from what you guys learned today.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that you guys need to know is to do a business plan.
Get a business plan.
Please. So things to consider. Start a business plan. Just write it out so you know exactly where to allocate your funds, where things are going.
Mm-hmm.
You want to build business credit as well. So a lot of people, they work really hard, and then they use their money to fund their business. You want to use other people's money.
That's right.
That's just very simple.
Right.
When it comes to business, bottom line, use somebody else's money to start your business. And start educating yourself so that way you can take the initiative and go ahead and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do?
Sure.
Okay.
I also wanted to piggyback on when you're creating a business plan. This also allows you to look in your own backyard to see what's available, what the resources are that are in your neighborhood, in your town, in your city, in your state.
So true.
There's a plethora of opportunity in just that one little area.
Yeah.
But you won't know that you got it because you don't know what you need if you don't create a business plan.
So true.
And also just investing in yourself. Pay yourself first. I know this is kind of like a very odd concept for most people. Me. Because we always feel like we have to pay out our, the bills and the people that we hire and creating a team and website and all that stuff, which is very necessary. But you also do have to factor in yourself first.
Yes. And then pay your bills.
And then pay your bills. Right.
Pay what you're investing your future in first, and then pay your bills and all the other stuff last.
Exactly.
So that way you can build. If not, it'll just never happen.
Not at all. And then that allows you to actually invest in a team that you can trust and that's knowledgeable about what it is that you're trying to do.
Yes.
Just like Mel was talking about, it's really important to get people around you. If you're not knowledgeable about the next step, at least get to know what the next step is, and then find someone or someones who can actually facilitate that for you. Super important.
So important. Today I actually seen something where it said it was a guy, he made $25 million his first year, and it was because he hired capable people to be able to do the work that he didn't know. Not people that learned during the process, that already knew how to do it. So that way it was structured and he built a team that way. So very, very important.
Absolutely.
Invest in marketing campaigns and invest in Shop Like Enterprise, you guys. You want a platform that makes sense, that's cheap, that's affordable, that actually puts your name out there and does all the advertisement for you. Build your website and just get your sales funnel going. You want to be able to just list your products on multiple platforms so that way you can generate income from multiple places.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean to take away from what you're already comfortable with in your social media platforms. It's just an additional resource that's going to get you into something that's more vast. I mean, getting on the radio alone, a lot of people don't have access to that at all.
No.
It's a very large cost for a very small amount of time.
Yes.
And here you can just get it for $9.95, and you can continuously, like Mel was saying, you can keep coming back.
Yes.
And letting people spread the word. And you can always join us on our show as well. We would love to hear from you. And all you have to do is go to Ahayakai at, Ahayakai email and let us know. You can go to the business planning tab on Shop Like Enterprise and contact us there. So in order to support what we've been doing today, you can go to Instagram for source_radio.
Yes.
He also has a Facebook page, Source Radio. The website, as you all know, is sourceradio.com. And you can also go to shoplikeenterprise.com. And if you're feeling the love, Cash App is Bottom Gun, Gun, and the number 1. So Bottom Gun, number 1. And send your donations because it's always for a good cause.
Yes.
And then what we have next week?
The next week we're going to have Ed Matthews. You guys, I'm super excited.
So excited.
He does these wellness retreats all over the world. I actually just got back from Mexico and helping people be able to build these huts, and does yoga. He does Thai massages.
Yes.
He's very in tune, and I'm very excited to be able to hear what he's all about, what he's doing, what he's building spiritually, what's going on. We're going to get the whole works, you guys, next week. So I'm super excited about that. So make sure you tune in.
Right.
And that is our show for this week.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
Next week. Please.
I do it for the most highs.
On
Praises
this
to the most highs. Connected to the most highs.